Can we bring back catcalling?
What?
Not specifically but like flirting.
Catcalling and flirting are very different things, but by all means, continue.
Men don't do it anymore. And I noticed this because they don't walk up to bars and they don't flirt, like at the gym, anywhere. Men don't walk up to anyone anywhere.
And why should they? They've been told to stay away from women, that women don't want them, they don't need them, that it's all men. Why would any sane man in this day and age walk up to a woman?
But they don't even catcall. Like the creepy men who used to catcall don't even do that anymore.
Apparently it's getting so bad out there that some women want attention from the creepy guys.
Men have gotten afraid to talk to women.
No, they're not afraid. It's just honestly not worth their time.
Not saying I need a man to catcall me, but a confidence boost every once in a while won't do me any harm.
Then go and get it from some of your female friends.
Let me get offended by you catcalling me at least.
So they want to be offended. I think I can help with that.
I walked through construction sites today and nothing. Not even a honk from a car. Not saying let's be creepy, but maybe let's be a little creepy and bring some confidence back a little bit.
If a person has to go looking for validation from outside sources, then they actually don't have any confidence to begin with.
Truly nothing annoys me more than a man seeing me carry all of this equipment, walk by and say, "Got your hands full, don't you?" Shut the
Okay, what exactly was so annoying about this situation that it demanded that a person stop everything that they were doing and make a video about it? Was it the fact that the guy said something sarcastic in regards to how much crap a person was carrying in one load? Or was it the fact that the guy didn't stop to offer to help? Because if it's the former, do bear in mind that oftentimes it is difficult for any person not to point out when another person is doing something rather silly. And if it's the latter, well, do bear in mind as well that women have been telling men for years that they don't need their help. Equality, after all. A woman can do everything that a man can do. And a lot of women have been telling men they don't need them at all. So it's no surprise that he didn't stop to help if that was the problem. But no matter what the issue is, it's always nice when someone can take time out of their day just to make a video about how annoyed they were at a situation. Who else is thinking it? Let's read that again. Now, this is just my opinion, but after seeing a multitude of posts like that, I have come to the conclusion that the majority of the types of women that put out content like that have no genuine interest in being in any kind of meaningful or loving relationship with a man, let alone with any person, because people that think of relationships as transactional are only interested in relationships in so much as what they can get out of them. And that is unfortunate, because a lot of those women actually try to play themselves off as being strong and independent people. But if they actually were being very realistic with themselves, they could not survive on their own without having to rely on someone else to foot the bill. So yeah, making posts like that is a good way to know who to avoid.
You're a hot girl and you date an ugly man, you're anti-woman.
Oh, goody goody. Let's hear this one.
What you don't realize is you are raising the stock of that man because he was with you.
Oh, this is going to be good.
And inevitably you're going to break up because men will men. Then he's going to be on the market. He's going to post pictures of you on his dating app so people are like, damn, that's his ex? She's so pretty. He must have really beautiful insides and be a wonderful person to get such a baddie.
It's just incomprehensible to some of the more shallow-minded individuals that some people actually date others for who they are on the inside versus what they are on the outside.
You know what? It's not true, because I think we've seen all these dudes are the same.
How exactly did one come to that conclusion?
These movies lied. Beauty and the Beast lied. Gaston and the Beast, both very questionable choices, okay? Hunchback of Notre Dame, I think we saw he just wanted to bang Esmeralda.
Ah, I see. They're basing their adult dating choices off of movies they saw as a kid. That explains a lot.
I am begging all you hot girls, please stop dating ugly men. They do not deserve you.
You know, there's a lot of really great guys out there that don't deserve to be treated like this.
These guys have inflated egos because of all of you hotties raising their stock when they don't deserve it. Are you investing in worthless securities? Diversify your portfolio. Get a baddie guy. Not believing what they say, nice guys finish last. No, because they're not nice.
Ah, and so speaks the voice of experience. But as we have just seen, it is often those people that look attractive on the outside, which can be the most unappealing on the inside.
I don't
And
care.
snap.
I don't care.
Okay.
I really don't give a fuck.
Well, that's unfortunate, because there's certainly a lot of women out there that expect all men to care about all women's issues. But yet when it comes to matters that are actually critical to the male population, there are a lot of women out there that really should stop saying that they have empathy for others, because it's becoming perfectly obvious that they don't.
Don't just hate that the male loneliness epidemic, a very real and problematic concept, is just hijacked by some assholes.
You know, I've mentioned this before, but apparently it bears repeating. Ironically, most of the individuals that I see speaking about the male loneliness epidemic are women. But continue.
And it is used not the way it is supposed to be used, which is a systematic failure of a patriarchal society.
Holy buzzwords, Batman. How many more times is this person going to swear in this video? I wonder. Let's find out.
Used to just, trash women.
Trash women. Really? That's quite a feat considering it's almost always just women speaking about it.
Nobody gives a fuck because nobody wants to give a fuck because it is weaponized against women.
Actually, from what I've seen, and what we are continuing to see here, is that it's mainly being used to disparage men and tell them that it's all their fault.
Because these people will take this concept and run with it and blame women and feminism and weak men.
Copious amounts of swearing is actually often used to cover up the fact that a person really doesn't have a valid point to make. But just imagine if all of these individuals put all of that effort that they're using to disparage men into actually finding a solution to this supposed male loneliness epidemic. But from what I have seen, a lot of men that are single are actually quite happy that way.
Men will blame everybody but themselves for the fact that they can't find a quality woman.
Well, let's just breeze by the fact that for a lot of men that actually have standards, there certainly is a lack of quality women out there.
Like they'll say, feminism has ruined dating. No, it hasn't.
Well, toxic feminism that actually is only about disparaging men certainly has.
If you can't reach the bar that women have set for themselves, just say that.
And if someone doesn't understand that a lot of men actually have standards that a lot of women out there simply can't reach, just say that.
Because the first step to doing better is admitting that you have a problem.
Ooh, I think I see the problem.
So if you admit that you have a problem and you better yourself and you become a good enough person that you can reach those standards that women have set for themselves, then you won't have a problem anymore.
Yeah, one of the main problems is that a lot of women require men to be over 6 foot tall, have a 6-figure income, and spoil them like little princesses when they don't actually deserve it. Yeah, that's one of the problems.
It's not feminism that ruined it, it's you.
It's always the men's fault, isn't it? Problem is, it takes two.
This is par for the course for men. A lot of times they have to take 90 to 100% of the accountability. And if they say, well, would you kindly take back 10%? So maybe I take 90% of the accountability, you take 10%. No, I didn't do anything wrong. That's a modern woman for you.
You don't understand. Men suffer in silence.
Yes, for the most part they do. And let's take a look at one of the reasons why that is.
Really? Then why am I always hearing about it?
You're always hearing about it? Because it's one of those things that actually matters. And I understand that it makes a lot of individuals uncomfortable to talk about the things that men actually have to go through. Because there are a lot of individuals out there that are too busy trying to blame men for absolutely everything that goes on in the world without ever taking a single moment of their time to consider what a lot of men go through, what they have to suffer through, and what they have to deal with. I know it makes you uncomfortable to have to actually take some accountability for the fact that men suffer in silence mainly because there are so many out there, mainly women, that shame them for actually expressing what's wrong or talking about their mental health. And that's why you have to keep hearing about it.
Men are pathetic, and I think we need to say it more, like with our chest.
Oh, lovely. Now just take a moment with me and imagine the amount of backlash that would happen if a man actually said this about women. It would be all over social media. And the comments alone, can you even imagine? Heck, it might even make the news. But unfortunately, behavior like this from women towards men isn't newsworthy. It barely even ruffles any feathers anymore because misandry has become commonplace because it's so popular. And unfortunately, a lot of women just don't care about men. They really don't. They use them as their emotional punching bags. And even other women think that they can't be possibly sexist towards men because they think that they're oppressed in the Western world. And in their minds, you can't be prejudiced or sexist towards someone who oppresses you. What a world we live in. Unfortunately, there are some women out there that make a lot of the rest of us that don't think that way look rather bad.
Men not being at work on a weekday, I don't like it.
Oh, so men shouldn't take time off?
No.
Oh my.
Why are you not at work? Why is it a Wednesday afternoon and you're not working?
I mean, it's almost like it's nobody's business why a man would decide to take the day off work. I mean, heaven forbid he be taking care of some personal or family business, or even just taking time for himself. But apparently, that's asking too much.
Not at the office. Not on a construction site.
I wonder if they could stereotype men a little bit more. I bet that would help.
Do you work from home? Because even that's pushing it.
And who can guess what they're about to say next?
Working from home is for the girlies. The girlies and the gays. Not for the guys.
Oh, this is fun. So now the appropriateness of a person's job is dependent on their gender as well as their orientation. Okay.
Why are you traipsing around a random city on a Tuesday? Go to work. Go to work.
You know, ironically, in the spirit of equality, I think someone should probably be taking their own advice.
You know how you go get your hair done, but before you get your hair done, you have to put down a deposit.
Yes, that's called the down payment for services to be rendered.
And if you don't show up, you do not get that deposit back.
Yes, because they provide services that are actually costly and time-consuming.
So I done came up with an idea. We should start charging these men deposit to date us.
Rather sounds like someone's planning on rendering services in exchange for money. Doesn't sound like dating, does it?
Like, we should start charging them a fee to date us. Like a 30-day trial. You pay like $1,000 to date us.
$1,000 though. My goodness, inflation really has affected everything.
So, and if they don't do right by us within them 30 days, we keep the money. I'm just saying,
I'm saying that a lot of men would probably actually rather invest that $1,000 in something that is actually worth their time and might actually give them a chance of being happy. Okay, so I do understand that this post was originally meant to be a joke. However, in my understanding of what a joke actually is, they're meant to be, you know, funny. But what exactly is funny about DV? Have we reached a point where it's okay to joke about DV in society? Huh, that's unfortunate. But I would like to point out that if this type of post was made about a woman getting hit with a frying pan for acting out in her household, oh my goodness, the internet would be up in arms, wouldn't it? But if it's a man, for some, it's okay to call it a joke and laugh about it. Not even taking into consideration the hundreds, if not thousands, of men that are victims of DV every single year. And sadly, it goes underreported because men often get shamed for being assaulted by a woman. But yet it's okay to joke about it, right? We need to do better than this.
I deserve to have my life fully funded by men.
I'm just curious, but why does it seem that a lot of women out there have this particular mentality? Why do they deserve to have their lives paid for? I mean, why?
I want my nails paid for. I want my toes paid for. I want my shopping paid for. I want my hair paid for. I want my makeup paid for. I want everything paid for.
You know, there's actually a term that very accurately describes someone who has to live off of the lives of others.
And you know who's going to pay for it? You are.
You know, the saddest part of this is, and it's not the fact that they're basically advertising that they have no marketable skills and are having to live off of their looks alone. I wonder what they're going to do when they're not in their 20s or even their 30s anymore, and they start progressing towards their 40s and their 50s. Wonder if they actually have any job skills. No, but the saddest part about this is that there are actually a lot of men out there that would be more than happy just to pay for it to get her attention.
Really, honestly, and truly, main character syndrome. Unfounded, by the way. if you were to tell them, what have you done to earn the main character, the lead role? Just be here. It's just my presence. That's it.
Men hate women.
Oh, here we go.
And they can't stand that women are centered on Mother's Day.
What men is this person talking about? Because they are certainly not talking about the majority of most men.
All I saw today in cis hetero relationships was men walking 10 feet in front of their wife, bike riding 30 yards ahead of their wife.
It's almost like social media's algorithm really only shows a person what they often most enjoy watching and what they watch the most of.
Not helping wife with groceries, getting them into the vehicle, getting them into the cart, all I saw today was men continuing to allow their wife to serve them.
This is really telling me a lot about what a certain person seems to enjoy watching.
For the not all men crowd, I know that.
Then act like it.
But if you feel the need to comment not all men, you are the problem.
Oh, really? How exactly am I the problem?
Men hate women, and they can't stand that women have a day where they should be centered and honored. They can't even do one forking day.
Yeah, after hearing that, I'm fairly certain it's not those that say not all men that are the problem. It's those that are seemingly determined to continue to wage a smear campaign against all men for some unknown reason.
Women do not flirt with men that they like.
So who do women flirt with then? Men that they don't like? No, that can't be right. I'm sure that there's more to this.
When a woman likes you, she's likely to not even look at you.
I can most certainly see how a lot of guys would probably be very confused at this point, hearing that if a woman likes you, she's not even going to look at you, and she's most certainly not going to be flirting with you. It's almost as like they're trying to say that there's no way at all to know if a woman actually likes you.
Men need to stop thinking that just because a woman shows them some sort of attention, that it means that she likes him.
I mean, that's at least somewhat true. Sometimes people just engage in casual conversation. But that really isn't solving the problem that we have here, is it?
If a woman is talking to you a lot, she's probably just very comfortable and thinks that you're easy to get along with.
But of course. But remember, according to the first part of this video, if she's talking to you a lot and paying you some sort of attention, she absolutely is not flirting with you, and it probably doesn't mean that she likes you, because if she likes you, she would be ignoring you. Anyone notice that a lot of these individuals out there that give all of this dating advice aren't actually giving any sort of advice? They're just muddying the waters.
I want to know, have men decided that they're not going to hold the door open for women anymore?
I don't think men have collectively decided anything. I think it still comes down to the individual person and how they've previously been treated when they've held the doors open for women.
Because I can't tell you how many times I have gone into a store, the man was going in front of me, he saw me coming behind him, and he opens up the door, but didn't open it up for me, and the door hit me.
Oh, well, that's just awkward.
Or he was coming out of the door and didn't hold it open for me to go through it, and the door hit me.
I'm noticing a pattern here.
And this is happening multiple times, so I just want to know, have men decided that they are just not going to hold the door open for women anymore?
Well, based on the number of times that someone was hit by that door, it rather sounds like someone was just expecting that door to be held open for them by virtue of the fact that they happen to be a woman, and for no other reason. But I have to remind someone that women are considered to be equals to men, and numerous women over the years have actually very publicly scolded men for holding open doors for them because they're perfectly capable of doing so. But it is common courtesy to hold the door open for someone, whether it be a man or a woman, so there's that. But a person shouldn't expect special treatment and at the same time expect equality.
The reason why women are no longer behaving traditionally?
Traditionally? Okay, why is that?
Is because men are no longer behaving traditionally. Y'all aren't behaving traditionally either.
Okay, explain.
Traditionally, I'm not saying I agree with it, traditionally men were the ones who provided.
Well, traditionally, during that time period, women weren't allowed to work either. I mean, how traditional are we wanting to get?
And that gave women more time, if they didn't have kids and do all that unpaid labor, to be feminine and to be pretty and to not be stressed out.
I'm really starting to wonder, what do some of these women want? Do they want equality and the right to work? Or do they just want to sit there and look pretty?
But since y'all want us to work...
Hold on a minute. It seems they're a bit confused, because it was actually hundreds of thousands of women who fought for years to gain the right to work. But they think that it was the men? Okay.
Gonna be these girl bosses that you so despise. How is it not clicking?
And just a thought here, and this might get me a lot of backlash, but if a woman can't figure out how to maintain her own femininity while maintaining her independence and working, yeah, that kind of sounds like a personal problem. It's not the guy's problem.
Well, they want to go back and forth in between the two. See, it's like playing Grand Theft Auto with the cheat codes on and off. I get to toggle when it gets too hard and I can make it easier for myself. But then when I want to show the world that I can do it and I'm strong and independent, I toggle them off and see, I beat that mission by myself. Oh, I did another mission. Oh, I completed this over here and I beat the game by myself. You're at the end of the game. You got all the power-ups. You basically cheated the entire time. So no, it doesn't count.
If you are a stay-at-home mom, you should be receiving a salary from your husband.
Why? Because if two people are married and one is working and one is not, in this case the man is working, that means he is paying for everything in the household, to include the mortgage / the rent, the bills, the insurance, and everything that goes along with being an adult. So why does the wife, in this case who doesn't work, need to get a salary from the husband?
If you are a stay-at-home mom, otherwise known as a non-compensated working mom, and you are married to a man...
You know, I've always wondered, what about women that are married to other women and one of them works? Does the one who is working have to pay the non-working woman a salary in that situation as well? Or is this only a man-woman kind of thing?
Your husband, the compensated partner, should be paying for the uncompensated labor. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of pissed off men in the comments.
No, I'm just confused. Why exactly would a spouse expect to get paid for doing the work that a person, if they were single, would be doing all on their own with no reimbursement? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Try to replace you. Try to replace a stay-at-home mom. You're going to be paying for a chauffeur, a chef, a nanny, a project manager for the house. In fact, recent data has shown that stay-at-home moms, non-compensated working parents, if you had to pay them a salary, it would be at least $175,000.
This really doesn't make any sense, and it seems a bit one-sided because you notice how you never hear this conversation coming up in same-sex relationships? It's only men and women. Why is that?
So if you are a non-compensated working mom, if you are a stay-at-home mom, you deserve a salary from your husband. I said it.
Sure, right. So let me ask a question. What about single parents? And that includes single fathers. Are they going to get paid for all of the work that they do that goes uncompensated for, that is just expected of them on a daily basis? And who's going to pay for that? I mean, seriously, people are expecting to get paid for things that are just part of being an adult.
Men stopped yearning. Men don't yearn anymore.
And what exactly are they supposed to be yearning for? Quite frankly, I can't see a lot of men yearning after most modern women, especially taking into consideration how a lot of them act.
That's all women want. All they want is to be yearned for.
Oh yes, that's all women want, is to be yearned for. But if we take a look at social media, a lot of women out there are going to want men to chase them to see who can line up to pay their bills so they won't actually have to do anything on their own.
Why do you think Mr. Darcy is such a sought-after gentleman, sir?
They mean the fictional gentleman that was written by a woman for women. Okay.
Why do you think women are reading these fantasy novels about men who are literally crawling out of their grave to get to her?
Do you think a lot of those women possess the same character traits as the heroines in those novels? Probably not. That's why it's called fiction. Fantasy.
That's what women want. It's really not that hard, y'all.
Just a thought, and this might come across a bit harsh, but this goes for men as well as women. In order for someone to be desired, they first have to be desirable.
The reason why a woman cheats?
Okay, what's the excuse this time for having no self-control, no morals, and no sense of loyalty?
Is because she lost that emotional connection with you.
So by all means, for some, it makes it perfectly acceptable to go out and find it with someone else.
And somehow you stop making her feel special and safe.
It's actually quite amazing that there are still some out there that will try to make cheating the person's fault who got cheated on.
Men, just a reminder, don't ever feel guilty for cheating on your wife.
Oh my goodness. This person is giving advice now. Oh goody.
It's her fault for being lazy and not pleasuring you.
I mean, no. That's not an excuse for cheating. There's never an excuse to cheat. If a person is unhappy in a relationship, do the adult thing and just leave the relationship. Have a conversation about it. Don't be that person that tries to make excuses for bad behavior. There is no excuse for being unfaithful to your partner. Whether you're a man or a woman, there is not one legitimate, reasonable, logical excuse for it. But I gotta say, that person giving advice on anything having to do with monogamous relationships, no, that's something new, isn't it?
You know, because it's her, it's self-explanatory. So that, yeah, I'm gonna leave it with you, Lady J.
Oh, good. Another parade that I get to rain on. Now, watching this, I got the distinct impression that this was meant to be funny. Something that women could bond over in their mutual disdain of men by calling them trash to a catchy little tune. What's wrong with some individuals out there? I mean, they are fully aware, I hope, that they're referring to all men. They didn't distinguish who they were talking about. So these women, who likely have fathers or brothers and possibly even sons, are calling even those men in their lives trash because they don't like the actions of some men. So naturally, all the rest of them have to be trash. But here's something I don't think they thought about. If all men are in fact trash, what does that make the women who actually love those men, who care for them, who support them? They're not being very supportive of other women and their choices, are they? Oh dear, that is unfortunate.
Taking a girl on a walk is not a date.
Okay. Why isn't it?
And I can't believe I even have to say this.
But yet, here we are. So why isn't it a date?
It is low effort. You put zero thought into it.
Based on what? That the guy isn't spending a lot of money? Maybe he just wanted to get to know you.
If I wanted to go on a hot girl walk, I would call one of my girlfriends. You know, like I will go with the girlies.
Okay then, what exactly did you have in mind?
A date is something that you actually have to plan. A date is something that you are investing a certain amount financially into it. It doesn't have to be a ton, but something.
No, a man does not have to invest money into a certain activity in order for it to be considered a date. That's rather materialistic minded of someone.
For example, if you wanted to go on a walk and then have a picnic, right? You have a couple snacks, maybe bring like some music you can listen to. Like, oh, this is a perfect view for a sunset. Like, let's put a little thought into it.
It's really sad that some individuals think that a relationship has to start out by someone spending money.
Even a guy that has no money, like if he wanted to, he would. He will find a way to figure it out. He will find a way to make it special for you.
It's almost like things can be made special and meaningful without money.
If a man is trying to take you on a walk, girl, run. Run. Not toward him. Away.
Just a thought, but if a woman needs a man to spend money on her in order for her to feel special, yeah, the woman's not the one that should be running in the opposite direction.
Men only care about your body count because they're jealous.
Somehow, I doubt that.
They're jealous that it's so easy for us to get. They're jealous it's so easy for us to just post a status or make money off our bodies.
No, they're not. Because a lot of men out there actually have what are called standards when it comes to someone that they choose to be in a relationship with. And a person who has a large body count, well, that can tell you a lot about that person and their decision-making skills.
They actually have to like trick women and put in work and spend money to try to get laid. We don't have to do anything.
Not exactly sure that that's something to be proud of.
These guys are just jealous and they're insecure and they don't like being beat at their own game. And because relationships are usually about power.
What? No, relationships should never be about power. I actually genuinely feel sorry for someone that thinks that.
I don't like that a woman has power that is stronger than his. And it's not a compliment that all these men want to like sleep with a woman.
No, most men just don't like it when someone obviously doesn't have discerning taste and will sleep with almost anyone.
Oh, if you liked yourself, you wouldn't sleep with all these guys.
Ooh, finally got one right.
When they care about your body count, it's because they're jealous. They wish they were you. They wish they could be a woman. They wish they could make money off their bodies.
What?
And any guy that cares about your body count, he's not a keeper. Definitely not.
And the same could be said for any woman that doesn't respect a man having standards.
Rage bait, 10 out of 10. Gotta be. It does not ever seem to cross the minds of some of these ladies that maybe men are looking at the fact that you don't seem to put the brakes or stop for anything. And what is that going to be like when we get married or when we get in a relationship? Your impulse control isn't there. And y'all be talking about how men be walking around here not controlling themselves. And you got a high body count, but it's freedom at that point in time, right?
A man should never ask his woman to contribute financially in the relationship.
Oh, this ought to be good. Okay, why?
Men who ask women for money are insecure in their masculinity. As soon as a man asks a woman to contribute, to split bills, to contribute to rent, to go 50-50, because they're partners, because they're a team, and it's only fair, this man will grow resentful of his woman.
What an interesting take. I mean, not only did they say his woman, as if she's some sort of property, but also the woman apparently is supposed to be completely dependent on the man. But I hate to break it to some that think this way, relationships are supposed to be partnerships. And if you're in a long-term relationship, such as a marriage, each person does contribute to that relationship. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Now, that can be in terms of emotions, chores, things done around the house, or it could even be financially. And there's nothing wrong with both men and women contributing financially to the relationship. I really wonder where some individuals get these sorts of ideas. Oh wait, it's for those that want women to be completely dependent on men.
If there were no men in society, what would you be protecting us from?
Well, that's easy. Other women. Next question.
This is my petition to bring back manly men.
Oh, manly men are in demand again, are they? Let me guess. Someone must have needed something.
Just tell me why I was at the airport yesterday and I asked two grown-ass men to help me put my suitcase up in the overhead bin.
Yep, called it. Because the only time that some of those strong, independent women seem to want manly men around is when they find out they can't do something all by themselves.
They both said no. One of them was like, if you can't put it up yourself, go check it at the gate.
I feel that's a perfectly valid response. After all, if a woman can't handle her own baggage, why should she try to hand it off to a man to deal with?
I was like, jaw dropped, because what's your issue?
There's no issue. They've probably just been listening to what a lot of women out there have been saying, that they don't need or want men for anything.
If I could, I would, but I just can't. I'm 5 feet tall. I literally weigh 90 pounds, and you think I can barely reach up there. What's your issue? Hello? What?
Maybe, just maybe, a person should have taken a little more responsibility for their own actions, not taken on more than they're physically capable of handling themselves, and then expect others, specifically men, to do the work for them.
The real reason we have a male loneliness epidemic,
oh goody, this again,
is because marriage was DEI for men.
So DEI isn't a good thing now? Funny how it was in certain circumstances before, but apparently it's now being used to disparage men. I can't wait. Let's hear more.
There are so many men who are single now, who 50 or 60 years ago, a woman would have settled and married, because without him, she did not have access to, like, a bank account.
I have the distinct feeling that if that's the only reason that a lot of women decided to get married, that a lot of those men were still really lonely, because a person can be absolutely lonely in a non-loving relationship.
Or just generally, women needed men a lot more socially. Being single was so bad that you would settle up with whatever bum you would find.
Wait a minute. Why are they trying to make it sound like it's no longer bad if a woman wants to remain single? But if a guy is still single, that must mean that he's lonely. When in fact, from everything that I've been hearing, most of the guys that are single are staying that way because they can't find a woman suitable enough to be in a relationship with.
I left my boyfriend and I've been traveling for 10 days and I've slept with 22 people in that 10 days.
What? How many?
22 people in that 10 days.
And they seem proud of this.
My goal was 20 and I just hit 22 this morning. It's 1 p.m. now here in Paris and I need to check out because I'm going home.
I can only imagine what they're going to do to fill the rest of the day.
I really doubt I'm going to get another one on the board.
Wait. They're hoping for more?
Either on the plane or like on my layover. So I think 22 is where we're going to cap it out. But how did I go?
Well, at least they're breaking stereotypes, proving that it's not just some men that are completely indiscriminate when it comes to who they choose to be with, but I'm not exactly sure why any person would be proud of such a accomplishment. It's not exactly a flex to be like a 24-hour gas station opening to servicing anyone who happens to come in.
Troubling, isn't it? But wait, there's more.
You might find me in the shadows, you might see me in the light. You'll never know the demons that I fight. And this face I wear for you, goddamn, I wear it well. I'll see you on the other side of hell.
And all of those I happened to find in a span of less than 30 minutes just scrolling through social media as I normally would. And if seeing that didn't give a lot of you some insight and better perspective into how popularized it is becoming to spread not only misandry, but prejudice against men, I don't know what will. And I'm sure there's a lot of you asking, why? Why are those posts continuing to allowed to be put out there on social media? And the simplest answer is because they're popular. They're popular among women and men. They get likes and they get views. I wonder when this is going to stop, because apparently spreading prejudice and hate is just too popular to quit.
And it's funny because one of the little posts there said, women look inward. If y'all are looking inward, how come you haven't found out that this is a problem? That you speaking this way about another person is a problem? How come you haven't understood at some point in time that your prejudice and your bias and your complete disregard for double standard at some point in time is going to come back to bite you? Why is that not showing up in your inward searches and explorations?
If that man had to block you, okay, you win.
Has the term winning come to mean being absolutely so insufferable that in order to preserve his own well-being and mental health that they had to go so far as to break all contact with someone and actually block them so that they wouldn't have to see their face? Is that what winning means now?
Right. That's how you know you really got to him.
By got to him, I think they mean scared him.
If he had to block you, okay, you win.
No. That is actually not what winning looks like, because I think most of us are aware that guys rarely block women, at least not without a very good reason. So likely someone's behavior had escalated to the point where it was, shall we say, erratic, that it was actually the safest thing and best thing for all involved for him to stop all contact and just block her.
Genuinely keep that to yourself. Like, I don't want to see you crying. I don't want to see you sad.
There's a very important question that needs to be asked here. Is this just rage bait? Or is someone finally being honest about how a lot of women feel about men sharing their emotions with them?
I cannot stand when a guy comes up to me and tries to tell me his feelings and open up to me.
I'm just waiting for them to say, man up.
Like, you guys will literally open up to me like, so this is what happened in my past. Baby, I actually don't care. Like, whenever a guy tells me about his past, I genuinely associate that with him wanting to be done dirty.
Now, I know some of you are going to say that this is very unrealistic. However, there is a large portion of men that actually have to deal with this very type of behavior every single day.
Like, you're willingly telling me everything that, all your trauma, like, I am shiesty. I'm going to use that against you. I'm going to use that in you against an argument. Don't tell me about your issue, because I will use that. You're never gonna go a day, a night, an hour, a second without hearing your worst memory, because you told me that.
If this is rage bait, it is very good and very on point, because this is exactly what happens to a lot of men out there, and it is why they tend to keep their emotions and feelings to themselves.
It honestly should be a tax write-off.
For what?
There should be giant tax write-offs for women just needing to be a woman. Alive, presentable, done.
Oh, another one of these. I actually hope that they're kidding, because it's rather hard to imagine the amount of entitlement that has to be located in one person in order for them to think that they deserve reimbursement from the government for one, just existing, and two, looking presentable.
Do you know how much time, money, do you know how expensive it is for a woman to just be alive and presentable?
Just speaking from my personal experience, it really doesn't take that much time. And it's not that expensive, but I have found that if a person thinks that they need to spend a lot of money, then they will.
I'm no low maintenance girly, okay? I understand that. I'm a high maintenance, but that's fine. I pay for it. I manage that. I'm the one that has to deal with the high maintenance-ness.
While I have to give credit where credit is due, at least they're self-aware in so much as being high maintenance goes, and they're responsible enough to take care of it all on their own. So good for them.
Sometimes I really wish I could be the girl that literally does mascara and that's it and runs out the door, doesn't get her nails done. That would be... I would have so much more time in life and just did ponytails every day. Or maybe if I was just a man. Maybe I should just be a man.
Well, that went south quickly, didn't it? But just a gentle reminder, there's nothing at all wrong with being low maintenance. As long as you're happy being who you are, that's all that matters.
Can we please, bring back men coming up to us?
I mean, we could, but that would actually mean that most men would have to find most women, approachable. But also bear in mind that a lot of women have told men to completely leave them alone.
Why are you so scared? Why are you so scared of coming up to us?
I don't think that particular tactic is going to work anymore.
Genuinely, I don't want, I get it, rejection, okay, I get it.
I highly doubt that, especially since the majority of women don't believe in approaching men in the first place.
However, if you go up to a girl in a nice way, I don't think you can fail.
Spoken like someone who has truly never actually listened to the average man's experiences when it comes to approaching women.
Well, why can't you just go up to her, just say something nice, compliment her, and then ask her for her number? That's it. Please?
If it was really that easy, yeah, I think a lot more men would do it. Actually, if it was that easy, then women would do it.
I like what she said there. Can we please bring it back? Letting us further know that it went out of style. And if we know that it went out of style, one has to ask themselves, why did it go out of style? Now I know from your perspective, you're probably saying because men don't want to do it anymore. They just scared, they're intimidated. But is there ever any point in time to where, once again, some of these ladies are willing to take accountability? There's that word again, accountability. Is there any point in time to where you're willing to say, maybe there was something that was said? If men are leaving in droves, if men are willing to stay single in droves, if men are not coming up and approaching us in droves, was there something said? That question could be easily answered by doing a simple TikTok scroll. Right down. Doesn't even take you 30 seconds.
This is what I want when I'm dating, because I train men like dogs.
Obvious puns aside, let's just get into it.
There's 3 things you can do to train a man like a dog. Number 1, and the most important to me, is give him tasks to complete.
Yeah, believe it or not, there are some women out there that actually believe that men need to be trained.
Whatever problem you have, if he can fix it, he can progress with you. If he can't, or he says no, he's a little bit away and you don't want a failure in your life.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave that one alone.
2 is positive reinforcement. Just like dogs, men need positive reinforcement to reward them.
Do you think they could dehumanize men a bit more if they tried harder?
Whatever it is that he's done, show him appreciation, thank him. Use your words, use a smile, be kind, be nice. Your energy is so important, and that's what he wants to take from you, your energy.
I would like to point out that a person's energy and the words coming out of their mouth are obviously not necessarily reflections of their personality.
Number 3, have clear boundaries. If he's disrespected you, if he's not paying you attention, if he's doing things that you don't like, withdraw your attention, withdraw your time, your availability, you're gone.
On that part, we can actually agree. Clear boundaries in relationships are very important. So if anyone, whether it be a man or a woman, senses that their partner is trying to train them to try to be a certain way in a relationship, as if they were a dog, it's time to run.
You notice that the men who have money never have a problem with the women who like material things?
Well, let's think about this rationally for a moment. A lot of the men that have excess money, and by excess, I mean more money than they necessarily need to get by on a daily or yearly basis and don't have to live paycheck to paycheck, a lot of times probably don't worry about having to budget down to the last penny. So spending money on incidentals or things that don't necessarily matter that much really isn't that big of a deal.
But the men that don't have money make it a huge issue.
Might that be because a lot of men out there actually have to live within their means and cannot justify spending money on things that a woman just wants because they want it? They actually have to worry about spending their money on things that are valuable and meaningful and that they need in life.
Is that a coincidence?
What is not a coincidence is that is spoken like someone who's never actually had to be careful with their finances. Otherwise, they would understand why some men are careful with what they spend.
I have a question. Where are all the good men at?
Have you checked your friend zone?
And I am being so serious right now.
So am I.
I am being for real. I want to know where the good men are at.
Well, quite a lot of them are already in relationships. And if they're not, they're most likely just not interested in dating because look at the dating pool right now. Can you tell me there's a lot to be interested in?
If you're someone who dates men and also hates men, I feel like those things are at conflict.
You think?
To heal from it, I want to move on, but I feel like where I'm lacking and where we are lacking societally is just having these positive examples of men being good, men being safe, men being trustworthy. So if you have examples of this, I want to know about it. Please share about it.
Maybe open your eyes and realize that good men are actually everywhere, and they far outnumber the bad men. I know that goes contrary to what a lot of individuals out there say, that it's all men, but good men are actually everywhere. If you get out of your echo chamber once in a while, you'd know that.
Men, if you're seeing this, please chime in, please pipe in. Like, are we safe with you? How can we feel safe with you? How can we stop carrying around this hate for men?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the first step would be stop hating people for something about themselves that they can't control. That would probably be a good first step.
Where are the good men at? At the house, chilling, hunting, fishing, golfing, playing basketball, flag football, a whole bunch of other things that y'all continue to get on this internet and say that y'all don't like. That y'all continue to get up on a profile. Hey, this is this man's profile. You see what he's got right here? You see it? You see it? Fish it. He got that. Y'all continue to say that. Maybe the man likes it. Maybe it's his pastime. Y'all need to find something to do to find peace. Surprise, surprise. It's fishing. I like fishing. Yeah, but I don't. That's for little boys. What about golfing? What, you like that? Still for wasting time measure. You waste time out there. What about basketball? It's a youth sport as well for children. Football, children. Games for children. Anything that we don't do, we could be sitting here scrolling on TikTok. We can be sitting here putting on makeup for hours, watching movies with our girls. All of that is fine. All of those are great hobbies. Going to brunch and running up a tab every Saturday and coming home incapacitated and not able to do anything. All of those are fine. But if a man should decide to do something, y'all don't like it. So you can probably, like Lady J said, check your friend zone or check back with the activities that men are doing. But of course, once again, those are too childish for you. So you're not going to find a man there either, according to you.